So today is Cinco de Mayo, and as I absolutely love Mexican art, I thought what better day than to draw a Mexican sugar skull with you guys. So I have a piece of A4 watercolor paper here, and I'm drawing a sort of slightly squashed circle in the top half of the paper. I've sped this up because it's quite a long process, but you could just do a slightly more simple drawing. You don't have to take as long as I did, but here is the basic outline of the skull. So we have a slightly squashed circle at the top, and then we just have the jaw coming out from below with a curved line for the chin. Now the eyes are a sort of lopsided oval shape, one on each side, and you can see that in the beginning I actually folded my paper in half so that I would have an idea of the left and the right side, so I could try to make my design roughly as symmetrical as possible. Now the Mexicans love to add lots of flowers and stars and hearts and little patterns all over these sugar skulls. So you can take a look online for even more ideas, but these are some of the patterns that I chose to use. So we have a little teardrop just below the nose, which is an upside down heart shape. Lots of little dots here and there, and some little kind of rainbows coming in from the cheekbones, which turn into flowers with some little petals all around. So I'm just using a black permanent marker here and also a black fine liner for some slightly finer details, adding some shading and cross-hatching in some areas to give the skull a little bit of depth. So I'm just creating a little crystal or diamond at the top here and some leaf shapes going off on either side. Now, if you're using a black marker and you make a little mistake, just do as I do and go back over it and make a little double line. Nobody will ever know, and they will think that you meant that double line to be there all along. I have some little sort of upside down U shapes coming in on the side of the head just to make some little indentations to make it look a bit more like a real skull shape. And down the bottom here, I'm just adding some extra dots around the flowers. In the eyes, I have started off with a little pencil circle to find the middle, and I'm just going all the way out to the edge with petals to fill up that whole empty shape there. And I'm just going to fill in around that petal shape with my black marker so that I have created a darker area in the eyes as well. When you're doing a little flower like I am at the top here, it helps if you create the outside line of your flower with a pencil line so that you know how far your petals need to go. So just adding all of the final details here, filling in the nose with black. I haven't filled in everything because I wanted it to look a little bit scratchy, just to give a bit of depth. So I'm going to be using my coloured marker pens. These are my Caran d'Ache Fibrallo marker pens, but any marker pens will do. I am going to be adding water to these, so I'm choosing water-soluble markers so that they will melt. Now, I took a look online at some Mexican color palettes, and these were some of the colors that came up. So you could choose these same colors or check out Mexican color palettes for yourself, or just go ahead and use any colors you feel like. But I really like sticking to these really bright traditional Mexican colors. I think they really give a nice contrast to the otherwise slightly scary skull. So what I'm doing is trying to create two very different zones on mine here. You could just stick with the same effect on both sides of yours if that's easier, but I just wanted to try out two different things. So I have in the background on the right hand side some very defined clear lines coming out, so it's nice and neat. On the left hand side, I've gone crazy with the scribbles, and I'm going to be adding water to that. So we're going to have one side which is very kind of messy and watery, and one side which stays really neat and sharp. I'm also doing the same thing on the inside of the face, but in reverse. So on my left hand side, I am filling in the face really neatly, and on the right hand side, I am just doing a few little bits of pen which are going to be melted away with water. So I have one kind of watercolored side of my face. You will see what I mean exactly as I'm adding the water now, and they will all start to melt. As I said, this is a little bit of a complicated approach. I was just playing around for fun. I just fancied doing it this way, but by all means, once you have a skull, just go ahead and color it in. You don't need to do it exactly like this. You could choose to either do it the watercolored way or keep it super neat and just color in the shapes, or do a combination of both like I have here. So this side that I'm working on now is my watercolored side, and I wanted it to look all kind of messy and swishy, so I've just added a whole bunch of water over those marker pens, and look how nicely they have melted. Now on this side, I'm keeping my lines nice and neat, but I'm just melting the last little bit there where I haven't quite done my marker pen all the way to the edge of the strip. That just gives it a nice faded out effect. So if you want to achieve that, do full color at one end and then just add a bit of water gradually to the edge. Now for the inside of my face, being very careful not to rest my hand on the wet areas of my painting, I am adding water to one side here of my face. So everything on this side is going to be melted and sort of swishy and watery, just like the background I did on the left. The left-hand side of the face, I'm just going to leave it so it's really crisp and neat so you can see the difference there. Now this stage doesn't take very long at all, the adding the water. It actually takes way longer to colour it in than it does to do the painted part here. So you can see it's all just melting out really nicely. I'm being really careful not to go over into the other side because I want that to stay looking completely different. So let's take a look how it looks when it is finished. There we go. I hope you like it. And if you like Mexican art, why not check out my Mexican heart tutorial, or you could head over to my website, carlyart.org, for more ideas. Just look at these amazing artworks that I have been receiving. Here is a food coloring color wheel done by Sophia, and we have these stunning robots by Salome. Isabella has tried my Ammonite quick draw, and Jack has done this awesome bunny over here. Mira even got her daddy to do the yellow submarine with her. These are both excellent. And this is the fizzy baking soda with vinegar art project, and Sophia has had a go here. These are beautiful colors, and this is what it looks like when you are in the middle of doing it. This is so cool. So Aaron has drawn the toucan, and I just love all the other animals you've got in there, Aaron. These are great. And this is Salome's toucan. What lovely use of paint here. And this is Jack's coral reef. Well done, Jack. He's also done this lovely strawberry and this beautiful princess too. And just look at Lilia's toucan. You guys, these are amazing. Don't forget to check out all the other tutorials and keep your work coming.